We are now going to be learning about how to compare and order decimals. When you are given a list of decimals like this, we have 4.1, 5.1 and 6.1, right? They're separated by the comma. So you know the comma means that that's one decimal, that this is one decimal, and that's one decimal. And the question says that we need to order them. We need to put them in order beginning with the smallest one. So you look at your decimals very carefully. You look at what numbers in the ones place for each of them first. So you always begin with the numbers closest to that side, because on the left hand side is where we have the bigger numbers. Remember, after the decimal point they are less than 1, they're less than a whole. So we look at the bigger numbers first. Here I have 4, here I have 5, and here I have 6 in the ones column. 4 I know is the smallest, so I'm going to write that one first. Then 5 is smaller, is the bigger one after 4, and then 6 is the smaller one. So I know that 4.1 is the smallest, then I get 5.1, and then I get 6.1. Now this one was quite simple because they were already in order for us. But let's look at one that's a little bit more difficult. Okay, so here I have again 3 decimals, and I need to order them beginning with the smallest. Let's pretend the instruction says to begin with the smallest. I have 23.2, 18.3, and 45.1. Right, so like the instruction says, like the rule is, you always start with the number on the left side, the closest to the left. And here I have tens, and tens. So I look at my tens column. Okay, so out of 2, 1, and 4, I know that 4 is the biggest one. So I'm going to write 45.1 first, because that's the biggest one. I've got the biggest 10. So that means this is the biggest one. Right. After 4, the next biggest one would be 2. So I'm going to write 23.2. That means what's left over is my 18.3. Right. So we always look at the number that's the furthest on the left first. Right. Sometimes you will have a little bit more complicated examples. For example, if I have 55.3, 55.4, and 53.1. Right. So I start with my rule, which is to look at the number that's closest to the left-hand side. Here I have tens. So now, all my tens are the same. So because all my tens are the same, I need to go next door and look at my next number, which in this case are ones. Okay, here I have 5, here I have 5, here I have 3. So I know 3 is smaller than 5, so definitely this one, that decimal, 53.1, is going to be the smallest one, because 3 is smaller than both those 5s. So I'm finished with that one, I can tick it off. I have these 2 left, and both ones are also the same. Both tens were the same, and both ones are also the same. So now I need to go next door again, and I'm looking at my tenths column. Here I have 3, here I have 4. 3 I know is smaller than 4, so I'm going to write this one first, 55.3, and then the biggest one is 55.4. So the rule is you always start with the number on the left, and you compare them, and you see which one's bigger, which one's smaller. If they're the same, like in this example, then we have to go next door, and we go to our ones column. 5 and 5 are the same, but 3 is small, so I can write that number first. I've used that one already, so I only have 2 more left. Both the ones are the same, so I go next door to the tenths. 3 is smaller than 4, so this one is going to be the next smallest, and then that one is the largest. If you understand this clearly, please try this activity now on your whiteboard. Not on your whiteboard, in your online journals.